Is offspring. Yes, man. I was chatting to Petra just off air, and she said, what did you say it was? 1, 2, 3, what?
Oh, that they repeat the words. They say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You know they're all doctors, right? Or something like they're all like tertiary education,
Sure.
MBCHB.
I mean, you wouldn't think about it from the song lyric choices, but hey. That's just me.
It's just you, right? Time for our Wednesday fixture, and honestly, one of my most favorite parts of the week. Today's conversation, well, is quite simply Petra is sharing about losing her mom last week and how that shaped the conversation and how we understand how the connection between emotional well-being and physical health all fits together. Right, shall we dive right in?
Let's do it.
So, when we started with your story, you spoke before about losing your mom at a very young age, and sort of that experience beginning to change the way you understood the connection between grief and physical health. How does that play into you and what you do and the way you do it all these years later?
So it took me a long time to come to terms with what happened. I was 23, so mom got diagnosed when I was 22. And there were a whole lot of things going on. I wasn't an allowance of what was going on in her body. I just rejected the idea of it. I was really angry. I was terrified. I didn't have tools when it came to death and loss. So I just shut down completely.
Sure. But what do we know what do we know at that age?
Yes, also true. I was just in survival mode.
Yeah, of course.
And what resulted, it's going to be a little bit of a journey to get to answer your question. But what resulted after that is I was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Yes.
Shortly after my mom passed away. And it wasn't hereditary. There's not a single person in my family that we know of.
Oh, wow.
But I'd had brain trauma before from a fall. And then the stress of losing my mom is what triggered the epilepsy. And we only found out after I had a car accident because I blacked out and drove into someone. Okay. So sorry to whoever that was. I hope your car was fine. All those years back.
Apologizing.
But what had happened, so I had epilepsy for about 23 years.
Yep.
And then...
It's a long time.
It was a really long time, Holly. And again, at the beginning it was a shock, so now I was just dealing with shock upon shock upon shock. And the stigma that goes around with it, I'm just so grateful I didn't get the grand mal seizures, so I wouldn't have the physical fits.
Sure.
But I black out.
Okay.
And I mean, it was managed, it was controlled, I could drive. But really coming down to, I think what's really important for today is how me suppressing the guilt, the shame, the anger, the sadness, how suppressing all of that is what manifested in my body through all these years.
Okay.
And that's really what's changed over the last few years for me when I started doing different type of work, getting different somatic tools, not just talk therapy, but really getting to the core of
sort of how this whole thing came about.
How it came about and how we hold it in our bodies. And that's the release that I really want to chat about today, and how that's changed my business as well. My own personal life. And then working with my clients individually and as teams.
When someone goes through that big whole emotional shock, like grief, trauma, loss, what actually happens to the nervous system, and why does the body react so violently?
So I can't answer all of that, as you put it so beautifully. I'm not going to be able to answer it completely because it's not my area of expertise. But what I can share is there's some amazing work done by Dr. Gabor Mate, who's a trauma specialist. Incredible research that he's done with his teams over the years, so scientific based. So anyone that's listening, please go have a listen. And there are so many books as well. The Body Speaks the Mind. A wonderful one by Dr. Louise Hay, which is the one that
I do love her stuff. She's really, man, she'll say your leg is sore because that's crazy.
It's that book. It's how you can heal your life.
It's crazy. I read that cover to cover.
It's fascinating. And look, sometimes at the beginning when I first read it, I thought, oh, I don't know so much. I'll take it with a pinch of salt. But what I've used it is as a tool for anything that comes up in my body. I have a look, and then I ask myself the question, well, if this was true, if this was the case, what can I do to change whatever's going on in my life? So epilepsy, for example, in that book is hatred turned inwards.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's heavy. And for me, it was the hatred, the self-blame, the non-forgiveness of myself for not feeling like I wasn't there for my mom and I should have been there more. So it was all that self-criticism that turned into the internal.
That's a nice comment leading to what I was going to say next, because a lot of people push through that difficult experience and try to carry on like nothing's happened. In that sense, we sort of see the body sort of step up and say, hang on a second, something's not right.
Yeah. 100%. Our bodies will always tell us if we listen. And they're very polite, so they whisper, they give us little hints as to what's going on. We're not so smart all the time, so we suppress or ignore, or we're rebellious and we don't want to deal with it because we say we don't have the time to deal with it, there's too much going on with our lives, or it's uncomfortable to look at, which most of the time that is actually the case, because we use busyness as a justification and an excuse to not look at what's actually going on.
Absolutely.
Because that work is uncomfortable. It can be really scary if you don't have the right support.
100%. We're going to have a little music break, but before we do, what were some of the sort of signals that your own body started giving you when you realized something deeper was going on? And the reason why I ask you this is because maybe somebody has experienced it and going, oh, is that what it is? Because maybe somebody can relate to you.
Absolutely. So with the epilepsy specifically, I got to learn the symptoms. And also there, I just wanted to highlight, I never called myself an epileptic. I used to speak about, I may have epilepsy or experience the symptoms, but I never owned it. And I definitely want to pick that up after the our little ad, or not the ad break.
Music break. Because we need to dance on the table.
So some of the symptoms that I experienced, and I mean, some of these can hint to other immune disorders or psychological disorders or neurosystem, etc. But for me, it was a combination of just feeling very disconnected. I used to start just staring into space. And those that knew me were like, hey, what's going on there? Because I would just switch off completely. So it's your brain resetting, recalibrating. Yeah. And then the other physical symptoms with seeing auras, tasting either like sulfur or blood, where
I've heard about this.
And I was fine, but I was convinced I just bitten myself or something. There was gas somewhere in the house.
Well, I mean, I've heard stories. Jess actually talks about that you get these ghost smells or ghost tastes. Like when something's like really wrong. Like for example, if you've got a tumor on your brain, apparently you taste like, and for the lack of, I am no specialist or no medical profession. I profess I don't even know what's in my first aid kit. This is that like, I don't even think, because I used the last one the other day. Is that apparently you have this candy floss sensation.
What?
Yeah, wow. And it's quite different. I'm also very much the same as you. When my brain has had enough, I switch off and I will either walk up. I'll either get up and leave, or I'll just stare into space and nothing else makes sense to me.
And it's watching that. It's getting to know what your body is doing, right? Because you need to pay attention. Because mine, it would start with that, and then I get this overwhelming urge to, I'm using air quotes, sleep. But that was my brain just shutting down. And if I just lay down, I would be gone, passed out. And it wasn't a little refresh, because at the beginning people are like, oh, you had a little nap. Yeah. But it feels like a train has hit you sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha.
So it's definitely starting to observe, well, what is my body doing differently perhaps? And not just, because I think what we do so much in this day and age is we blame it on stress, or we haven't been sleeping properly, or maybe I haven't been eating properly. And absolutely, all of those contribute. When I wasn't getting decent or good sleep quality, when I wasn't eating nourishing food, it would trigger them easier.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look at. But really, anyone that's listening, please just start start co-creating your life with your body. Pay attention, because it might be trying to tell you something subtly until she or he implodes.
Yeah, got you. When we come back, we can talk a little bit more about the mind-body connection, and what are the signs that our bodies are carrying some kind of emotional stress. We'll do that on the other side of these. It's interesting that some of the stories, some of the stuff that you talk about are quite relatable to mental health. For example, when I've had, as I mentioned, when I've had enough, I switch off and I get up, and I've been known to just leave conversation. I haven't been known to, and Jess will often like tap me on my shoulder and go, come back, please. Come back, please. And she goes, earth to poorly. But like, jokes aside, like, she gets it, and it's very strange. P, when we talk about the mind-body connection, what are some of those physical signals that people should pay attention to? What are the signs that our body might be carrying in terms of emotional stress?
So if we go look at, in this day and age, everyone is diagnosed with anxiety or some kind of stress disorder, depression, ADHD, ADD, etc. So there's a lot of that, and I often question, I've been doing a lot of research on it as well, is how much is it just it's been misdiagnosed, where it could just be trauma that was never dealt with.
Sure.
Conscious or unconscious. And the more we suppress it, it's got to go somewhere in our bodies.
It has to have an outlet.
It has to have an outlet. And if we just suppress, like the stuff that's been going on in my life the last 2 days, I haven't had time to sit with it properly.
Sure.
I've had little moments, and I'm like, P, you can't afford this right now, you've got deadlines.
Yeah.
But I know that this weekend I am going to prioritize looking at what's going on. And
time for you.
I have to. Because if it doesn't, it is going to manifest again as another
something else.
Or completely. And I think so many times we, as I mentioned just before the break, is where are we excusing being busy, not sleeping enough? And could it be something else that actually we need to look at? Which can be scary. It can be because we don't know where to go for answers. We don't know how to approach this. And we just keep justifying that we don't have time. So we keep thinking we need another holiday or a long weekend, where actually
you just need to talk about it and get it out of your system.
Talk about it and use the somatic tools. Sometimes talk therapy, which is part of the work I do as a coach, and we need our body and our nervous system need support as well. Einstein even has that amazing quote where you can't change the situation you're in using the same mindset that created it in the first place. So that's where my challenge with talk therapy sometimes comes in, because if we're rehashing the story and the trauma, so much research also proves that our bodies and our minds don't know the difference. So we relive the same emotions in our bodies, retelling the story.
There's a saying I used to say, I don't say it anymore, because it's got quite a negative connotation to it. It says, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. But it has such a negative connotation to it, and I'm like, I don't like to talk like that anymore. A lot of people listening right now recognize the feeling of being overwhelmed, exhausted, or even emotionally drained. Where does someone begin should they realize they've been ignoring the signals?
So any area of discomfort, of anxiety, straight away it's about going to tune into your awareness and straight away ask yourself, okay, what is this, what's going on right now, what am I feeling? So to describe it, and also to go a level deeper. And if you don't have the tools, if you don't know how to do this on your own, I really encourage you to seek some kind of support from a professional, because sometimes we might misinterpret, let's say, a feeling of anxiety could actually be suppressed anger that we've been feeling for so long. But we've been told anger is bad. And of course, we're talking about a healthy version of anger.
Yes, of course.
Anger, it doesn't just have to be toxic. It only becomes dangerous when it's not dealt with. That's when we get the explosiveness and people do things that aren't healthy for themselves or someone else. But it is being able to look at, and that's where maybe getting or speaking to someone that is a professional.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a coach or a psychologist, but please make sure you're getting your somatic tools as well. So that's the work I do, which has shifted so much. Where, yes, let's talk about it. Absolutely. Let's dig under. Let's see what's under what you think.
Let's be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
My favorite. Let's be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then giving yourself and your body the tools to be able to release it and let go. Because if we're just talking about it in our mind's just going over and over
it goes in a circle,
and it's not allowing our bodies to release it.
For someone who feels like the world is a heavy place right now, work, family, stress, what would you say the first gentle step towards supporting their well-being